Well, how do you think that makes me feel? First of all, sir, are we 7 years old or are we adults? Like, what? Because what you're not going to do is try to question me like I'm a toddler. Like, you do that type of shit in kindergarten. Like, oh, when you took Johnny's cookie, how do you think that made him feel? Like, you do that to a toddler. You're not going to do that to me. You can tell me how it made you feel, but you're not going to sit here and question me like I'm your child. Stop. 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 To start this off very nice and, happy and ready to, start recording this. All of my notes are gone. Like, literally all of my fucking notes are gone, and I am super pissed. I'm gonna try to watch this whole fucking episode, all 2 hours again, and just go from there, because like I'm not gonna do any pictures or anything like that. Like, I'm just uber pissed right now because all of my notes are gone. Okay, so we're starting out with Rachel and Jose at this nursery, and they're getting plants for their kitchen because they're gonna have a housewarming. And here's my issue. Jose is a control freak, okay? Let's just call a thing a thing. He's a control freak. He's super anal. And I don't know where all of that stems from. Maybe we'll get that later on in the season. But the fact that Rachel is just like, oh, it's okay because he planned it out. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. He planned everything out. It's okay. All of that passive aggressive behavior is going to start building up because his personality is overshadowing Rachel. And you can only do that to a person, but for so long until it implodes and it becomes an issue. So I'm going to need Rachel to go ahead and step up so that she's not being left behind in all of the decision making, because it's your life too, Rachel. Like, you can't just leave everything up to Jose just because that is his personality type. You need to speak up for yourself. Okay, so the next scene we see Zach and his friend Jerron talking, and guys, I can tell you right now, like I had in my notes, Zach is really, it looks like he's suffering from like, and I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not none of that. I'm just telling you from experience. It looks like he's suffering from like some type of PTSD because he just seems shell-shocked. Like, this situation with him and Michaela, and the way that she reacted when he said that he's gone through situations like this before, this just seems like a case of like PTSD, because he's just like checking out. Throughout the episode, he is checking out. But you can tell he's just like, I'm not going to feel bad for not wanting this. But if we flip the coin, matter of fact, no, let's not go there. Jerron basically gave him some very solid advice, basically telling him, listen, you have two different people coming into a relationship, a new situation. There's going to be some conflict, which I agree. Moving in with somebody, learning how to be in a relationship, all of that type of stuff, how to cohabitate with each other. There's going to be some bumping of the heads. Now, to the degree of Michaela, absolutely not. That was crazy. But I like the way she responded was nuts. But I agree with his friend. Like, listen, there's gonna be some shit. Like, you're like, anticipate it. There's no fairy tale. Like, there's not gonna be a day where, or there's not gonna be times where everything is gonna be perfect. Like, you can't look for perfection when you are dating a human. Like, that's just unrealistic. So I like that he gave both perspectives and he didn't just ram it all onto Michaela, because I guess he just understands perfection is unrealistic in these types of situations. So Mirla and Gil. I'm starting to like Mirla, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I really feel like the way that they started to paint her, really isn't who she is, because she is really showing up in these episodes. And Gil is not looking so good himself. So they are talking about finances, and they're, you know, making a list, because I guess that was one of the assignments from Dr. Cal, was to create a list of your finances, show each other your bank accounts, things like that. Okay, great. Well, now we get to, you know, look behind the curtains of Mirla's finances, since that's all he seems to talk about. Which I don't like, because it started to become an obsession. Like, Gil, you're obsessing over her income, her spending habits, and clearly she has the funds to back it up. Like, if you don't fit in her tax bracket, maybe you should, you know, if you want to keep this woman, step your game up if that's what you want to do, but like, get off the gas. Anyways, so they are talking about their bills, and then he asks about her eyelashes. Glad she shut that down with, that's irrelevant. When they were talking about how much do you spend on groceries, I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers talk about this. When it comes to food, I do believe in budgeting. But sometimes you can go outside of your budget for when it comes to food, y'all. Like, come on. When he said he only spends $150 every 3 weeks, as big as Gil is, you know what came to mind? It seems like he only has, you know, he may eat just chicken, rice, and beans. Like that, it just probably goes to Costco and just like, give me the biggest pack of chicken, give me the big, like a 20-pound sack of rice, and a 20-pound sack of beans. Like, that's all I'm getting for $150 every 3 weeks at a man his size. Like, and I do know, like, you know, people who work out, or, you know, bodybuilders and stuff like that, they just eat, you know, for nutritional value, not just to, you know, enjoy the food, not just like, no, I'm just getting my protein in, dog. So that's all I got from that. Because I was like, $150. Now listen, I have 2 kids, but before I started having kids, when I started making my own groceries, I was definitely spending more than $150 on groceries a month. Like, nah, dog. We like to eat around here. Anyways, yeah, so they start talking about Mirla's shopping. And again, another one of those instances where I'm glad she shut him down. He said, what's your shopping habits? Like, what do you do about, like, how often do you go shopping? And she's like, I go shopping like 2 to 3 times a year. And he's like, oh, whatever the card allows. She's like, my card approves every time. Like, get on his ass, sis, because listen, I don't like this narrative. I don't like it at all. Anyways, when she said that she pays off her card the same month, like, she has good money sense. And the way that they're trying to paint Mirla is like this rich, or not even rich, but this spoiled brat type mentality. You know, I gotta have it when I want it, how I want it. And that clearly that's not her. She talked about her humble beginnings before, and from what I'm seeing, it's like, okay, she knows how to manage her money. She doesn't obtain debt. She's not doing anything to put herself in a compromising position when it comes to her money. So why does this keep coming up? Help me understand, because I'm confused. Like, guys, I love this show. It's actually really giving, but it's just shows like this that makes me not want to be in a relationship. I'm telling you, it's getting scarier and scarier. Okay. They get to looking at each other's bank accounts. And Gil is, oh, he looks at Mirla's, oh yeah, that's legit. That's a good savings. Yeah, that's. And then they look at his bank account. Homeboy got excuses longer than Train Smoke. He's just like a bleep 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 a bleep 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 a bleep 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 a bleep 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 and bleep 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 bleep. Like, you did all this talking. And your bank account can't even back it up. You questioning this woman about her money that does not affect you. And clearly your bank account can't back it up. I'm gonna start keeping score. Okay? 2 for Mirla. 1 for Gil. Because, sir, like, why? Again, why are you so vested in this woman's money when you don't even have the money to back it up? Clearly, Mirla was not impressed with what she's seen in Gil's phone. She was not impressed. And he's talking about how, you know, his money is in Colombia and, you know, his money is tied up and all this other type of stuff. And she's like, but you have money, right? But if they were wanting to buy a house, they would have to start from scratch or, you know, and rely on Mirla's money. If I were Mirla, I would tell him, yeah, don't ever ask me about how I spend money ever again. Don't ask me anymore. Because all that hounding he's been doing since they, you know, have been together and trying to put her in these awkward situations to shame her, he can't measure up. And I would shut that shit down immediately. Hey, brother, we don't have to talk about this anymore. Period. Like, period. Okay. With Brett and Ryan, their storyline is so controlled and slow moving. It's just like, what are we giving here? But anyways, Ryan's in the gym. First of all, Ryan is in the gym. Ryan is in the gym. Like, woo, man, listen, body. And we love to see it. Brett is talking to her friend, basically, you know, talking about the feelings and all that. First of all, I would have hopped on that immediately, but that's just me. Like, if we married, bring that ass here, boy. Bring those cheeks. But Brett is basically saying how she's starting to feel things or whatever. Ryan is saying, you know, to his friend that he's ready to get out of the friend zone, which I can imagine. You know, they've been married for, you know, a little over 2 weeks now at this point. And it's like, all right, it's time to, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Yeah, but their scenes are just so, like I said, so controlled. I can really do without them. Honestly, guys, if you don't want to hear about them, I wouldn't be mad. Drop it down in the comments. Let me know if you would rather not hear about them, you know, until something happens that's worth talking about. Because honestly, the 3 couples that, the other 3 couples actually have more things to talk about. The only thing that that's continuously being talked about at this point is Ryan really into Brett. And looking at Ryan's friends, looking at the lady, even though they're married, when I was looking at the lady, I was like, boy, I bet that is his type. But yeah, if y'all don't want me to talk about them, I really wouldn't mind, because that'll take off a lot of time, and we can just focus on the other 3 couples. Because, ooh, child. So Val is talking to her friend, and they're just talking. She's talking about how she sees why her and Johnny were matched. And I'm sorry. Like, I'm kind of over the Johnny saga at this point because he just keeps checking out. So he's not building anything with Bao. Bao is, it seems like when she talks about her relationship with Johnny, she's very political, you know? Like, she's talking about all these great things and what the relationship could possibly bring and what, you know what I'm saying? Like, she sounds like a politician because ultimately the only thing that he keeps showing her is all of these inconsistencies to their relationship. Like, that's all he's bringing because he's not sure. And it's just like, I want Bao to be honest. You know, I don't know if she's saying all of these things in hopes that it'll change. You know, she may just be trying to call that energy in, but it's like, sis, sometimes you just got to look at it from where it's at. Johnny is not mature enough. He has some more soul searching to do. He just needs to give a little bit more because at this point, you know, but the thing that the friend keeps doing in this scene, he keeps trying to make Bao see it in Johnny's perspective of, well, he hasn't been in a relationship for a long time. He's not had to consider anybody else's relationship. He's not. Kind of making excuses for for Johnny. And it's like, I could see that if this was regular dating. Johnny has agreed to commit to somebody legally in a marriage, which means you have to put yourself aside to be understanding, compassionate, empathetic to your partner. You cannot check out on your partner every time shit gets bad. Like, I just don't like that the friend keeps, like, every time she says something, he has something back, just trying to make a even playing field for her and Johnny. And it's like, it's not even, because Bao was putting in the work. She's gotten herself in this uncomfortable predicament to be ridiculed and criticized all the time. And anytime Johnny feels like there's something wrong, he gets to bounce, either physically or emotionally or mentally. And it's just like, or he gives her the emotional burden of his shit. And it's like, I'm gonna need you to, you want her to be in the moment so much, but you're not even taking on that same notion because now you're in your head when it comes to her. So I don't like how the friend is steadily finding all of these loopholes for Johnny. Like, friend, be a friend, okay? Okay, I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna do my best. All right, so the couples are meeting. Well, not the couples. Well, the couples are meeting up, but in their own circle. So the grooms are meeting, and then the wives are meeting. And in Johnny's confessional, he's like, "Yeah, I'm happy to be going here with these guys because, you know, it's like war and they're in the trenches with me." And it's like, why are you comparing your relationship to war? That just lets me know how unprepared and how so not ready you are with this. Like, it just, come on, Johnny. This is not war. This is not war. The tall dude from season 9 of Married at First Sight, you should just take his route and just leave and not come back until decision day. Like, the way he's going, like, you might as well, because why are you war? That's the worst thing I've ever heard marriage to be compared to. And I've heard, like, when people say relationships are jobs, that has always been cringy to me, because it's like, it's not a job, it's work, but it's not a job. But war? Ciao. Orion asks about the expectation versus reality as far as married life is concerned. Well, that camera panned over to Johnny and he already stressing out. Just the look of stress. Guys, if y'all see the light starting to dim a little bit, it's because here in Houston, Tropical Storm Nicholas was supposed to hit, and this is when I'm doing this. It's actually Tuesday. It's Wednesday. It was supposed to hit Tuesday, Monday night to Tuesday. So the weather is still blech. So I'm sorry if the lighting is changing. That's just what my reality is right now. Anyways, back to what I was saying. But yeah, you can see Johnny, he's already stressed out. Okay, as soon as Ryan asked that question, Jose is basically saying we can't keep our hands off of each other. Basically, they're into each other and their chemistry is right and everything is great Gil, he low-key dry hating. So I'm like, yeah, if Rachel was here, they would have had 10 kisses already. I'm like, Gil, don't be a hater, because that lady won't kiss you. She probably won't kiss you because you keep asking her about her finances. The ladies ask about Michaela. They're just like, oh my God, how are you doing? Because, Zach got COVID. And it's so crazy watching this scene because you see the people who are having the worst time in their relationships are the one who are the most political. Because Michaela, she's like, oh, we got through it. This only made us stronger. He's good, for, in sickness and in health, and we got it 2 days after. How are you doing? How's everything with you guys? Like deflects immediately. And I'm just like, oh, sis. You're not gonna tell them? You ain't gonna tell them about Hurricane K? Girl, get out of here. But Bao, she's super quiet. She's closed off. Her body language is closed off, because she doesn't want to talk. And I get it. Nobody wants to talk about their relationship issues, but I feel like what is so essential to these groups y'all are all going through the same kind of leaps and bounds. Y'all are going through this unique process. So I would be as open and transparent as possible. I don't give a damn what the situation is, because everybody needs help, But I feel like between Michaela and Zach, I don't know. I think she may have killed that relationship. Because I don't think Zach is going to leave room for reconciliation. I'm getting ahead of myself. So the guys are talking about living arrangements too. And Gil, child. Gil is like, I still haven't gotten a kiss yet. He's trying to convince everybody, but it's, there's something there. We're talking about building a future together. She just hadn't given me a kiss yet. It's been 40 days and 40 nights and she still hadn't kissed me yet. And it's oh my God. I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say in that regard anymore, because child. Anyways, Ryan, he's just like, oh no. Gil is like, oh no, it's okay. Ryan is just like, he's lying. Because how would you feel, if you are married to somebody, if you're in the same situation, okay? You're marrying a stranger, but you've spent 2 weeks together and they won't even kiss you. How would y'all feel? Right now in this predicament, I don't feel as bad for Gil as I did before because of how he's coming at Mirla. But still though. Oh, the guys are talking and Johnny is saying that him and Bao are friendly. And he's basically just trying to suit it up and say yeah, we're just friendly right now. And they're just like, okay, clearly there's layers to this. Like, are you attracted to her? Are you kind of, sort of? And Gil is like, okay, what does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? Do you like her? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and Johnny is basically like, that's not my type. What I like that Gil said in this regard is, okay, she may not be your type, but she may be what's good for you, because it's the same for all of the men there. It's like, y'all aren't used to this type, and maybe your type is the reason why you're not married right now, or why you haven't been able to get married, because you've held this type on a pedestal that now you have somebody that's outside of that, but they could be better for you in the long run. And I like that he pointed that out, because he was just like, if somebody would have, if knew Mirla, if somebody I knew Mirla and I heard about her, there's no way I would be with her. He was like, but he's happy with her. So I like that instance, because that's very true. We all get stuck on types and looks and person, you know what I'm saying? And just the shallow stuff that we don't think about the long run. We don't think about who, as far as character is concerned, personality, how you gel, all types of things. So I really, I appreciate Gil in that moment. I think that Gil can be very wise when it comes to the men. I would like for him to apply that in his marriage. The ladies are talking, and they're talking. Bao is vocalizing how she feels about Johnny. She said that Johnny defaults to a checklist, and anytime she doesn't make that checklist, he'll default and disregard her feelings, and he'll just swipe right to the next person. And I was like, damn, that's it. Remember when I said what I said about the 100 first dates in my last video? Johnny is looking for perfection. He is looking for, and anytime anybody reveals imperfection, he'll leave you. He'll dismiss you. And that is why he's been on 100 first dates. Because I'm telling you that they couldn't have all been crazy. It's one thing to settle. It's one thing to just settle for somebody that's just not it, that you are totally off sync with. But to default to a list, I think is just very crass and in poor taste. And it's honestly dehumanizing, because it's like, nobody's gonna meet your standards. And when she said, not all of them anyways, but because I'm not saying that you're not supposed to have standards, but everybody's not gonna hit every nail on the head. It's that 80-20. But when she said what she gathered is when he got matched with her, that was supposed to check off every box. And it didn't, because you do have to accept the person for who they are, if you're willing to pursue the relationship. But shit, he's not even willing to pursue the relationship. While the guys are talking, and they're basically saying, listen, it's not going to always be perfect and happy and 100%. Zach just butts in, and he's just like, okay, but what if it just doesn't work? How about it just doesn't work? And I was like, oh no, Zach is over this shit. He is done. But I mean, that's very true too. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But it not working and not working towards it working can't exist together. Like, you can't not do the work and just be like, well, it just didn't work for me. And I think that's going to be my issue with Zach, because we'll get there, but because I don't want to get ahead and skip over a scene. But yeah, some shit just doesn't work. Some people just don't work. You know what I'm saying? It can be oil and water, absolutely. But you can't get into something, and especially something as permanent as this, and just say, all right, she didn't cut her toenails today. I'm done. You know, like, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm just saying, like, you can't just get into something and just already wash your hands of it as soon as there's a little bit of trouble. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Johnny is in his confessionals, stressed the fuck out. He is stressed, and he has basically summed up my words, basically saying, is his expectations too high? Did he go into this not ready? And is it because she's not perfect? Is that why he's out? First of all, what kind of evaluations are happening when they are picking these candidates? Because this show has been on long enough. It's been on long enough for you all to know what goes into these shows. So all these emotional moments that Johnny is having in regards to Bao, oh, I could see if she was making it hard. I could see if she was making it hard for him, but she's not. She's actually super pliable, very flexible when it comes to his expectations. So all of this extra emotion, I don't understand what it's about. And I love when a man can be in tune with his emotions, don't get me wrong. I just don't understand where this is coming from. Like, is he emotional because he doesn't want to hurt her? Is he emotional because he doesn't want to seem like the bad guy, because he is? Is he emotional because he doesn't want to be like, I don't understand what the emotions are for, but I want the experts to do a better job at picking a cast, because what are we doing? What are we doing here? Child, so Girla. Not Girla. Oh, child, I'm good at it. It just happens naturally. Anyways, Gil and Mirla come back home after the meetup with the couples, and Gil is just like, where the tea at, babe? Where the tea at? Cause I'm ready to spill the tea. Like, he is just so giddy. Like, listen, the amount of drama and mess that I like to discuss with my partners is very unhealthy, because I think it's a cute little bonding experience, you know? Like, if you don't have a messy partner, like when it comes to everybody else, and y'all can just keep that between you two, I think it's cute, because a little bit of gossip, a little bit of drama is nice to share. It's a cute little bonding moment. But Gil is just, okay, he's just like, honey, the tea is piping hot, okay? Johnny, don't fuck with Bao. Basically, like that. Like, he should have just did all that, because he was just like, no, tell me what's tea, bitch. Like, that's Gil. But he's basically saying, like, Johnny is not attracted to Bao. He thinks that Bao is a nice person when he's around her, but he doesn't know what happens behind closed doors. And it's like, listen, don't put that on my girl Bao, because Bao is out here in the trenches for Johnny, okay? Not the other way around. Johnny's running scared. Bao is actually in the trenches. She is in war, because she's trying to win a man over who don't even want her. So don't do it, Gil. Anyways, they meet Gil's mom. Or not, Mirla meets Gil's mom, finally. She didn't meet her on the wedding day. And Gil's mom, she, first of all, looks amazing. Like, it looks like Gil's sister. It doesn't look like Gil's mother. I hope to only look like that deep off into my older ages. Like, she looks amazing. But they meet, and here comes Gil with this bougie shit. Yeah, I don't know who he was describing her. Like, it was somebody, some reference, and Mirla was just like, what does that mean? And he's just basically like bougie. And it's just like, why do you keep trying to shame this woman? Not only are you doing that, you're doing it in front of your mother. Now, I see that Gil has a bubbly personality. He's very like outgoing and things like that, which is great. You know, I love for people to have that. But stop trying to because I feel like he's starting to chip away at her with these types of, you know, these little jabs every time he talks to somebody about her, especially in front of her. And it's like, don't do that. Like, you're not setting yourself up for a good foundation. Now, Mirla, she keeps taking this shit in stride. I don't know why. Because I'd be like, listen, boo. You cool and all, but all this bullshit shit gonna have to stop. Maybe she don't give a damn. Maybe she takes it as a compliment. But sis, like, there's no way that I would sit there and continue to deal with that type of discussion. Because why are you so obsessed? Are you a hater? You want what I got? That's where my mind would go. Or you're trying to knock me down. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Take away my confidence. Like, don't sit here and make me feel bad for working hard as fuck for what I want and what I have. You know? So yeah, Gil, we don't like it. We don't like it. Bao and Johnny are getting ready for bed. And in his confessional, he's just like, you know, all the other guys are just, they have deeper connections with their wives. And it's like, hold up, Johnny. That's where you went wrong. Stop trying to compare your relationship with all the other men. It's okay to take notes, to take advice, to listen to other stories, but don't sit there and compare your connections, because you don't know what they're going through until, you know, the show airs. So don't sit there and say all the other guys. And when he says all the other guys, I think he means Jose and Rachel, because Johnny and Jose seem to have the closer connection, or the closest bond with all the grooms. And it's like, first of all, Jose seems like he's overcompensating for something, and he's just turning Rachel into a ticking time bomb. So definitely don't compare your relationships there. But when Johnny was telling Bao, like, you know, I was listening to all the other guys, and we were talking about, you know, our relationships, and he was like, you know, I know that, you know, you're totally into this process and you're totally into me. I'm just like, okay. And then he's just like, you know, and I don't know why I can only focus on the negatives. It's just like, because you need to grow the fuck up. Like that's all I can say, is because you need to grow the fuck up. You are so worried about things that won't matter a year from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just worried about things that shouldn't be worried about, things that'll start to refine themselves over time. You know what I'm saying? But don't like, I was just so turned off by that when he said that. Child, when he told Bao, what if I was, what did he say? He said, what if my heart was in the right place, but I'm not ready for this? I would have, like, he would have got in there. Like, hey guys, I'm not serious, but I'm just saying, like, Bao is just, I mean, handling this with so much grace and class and patience, because she is working hard for this relationship. She is putting her everything into this relationship, and he is just, and Bao, oh my God. She's just like, I just have so many thoughts. And if I was her, I would have let them all out, because I just don't think that it's fair for him to just be able to go in on her, ridicule, and all this type of stuff. But he's the one who gets to emotionally check out. He's the one who gets to leave. And I just don't like where this is headed. I don't like it. Jose, so we start with Jose and Rachel's housewarming, and they're basically saying, oh, everything's perfect, everything's great. She checks off all of my boxes. She's amazing. I just love her. And I'm just like, Jose, you're suppressing her. But okay, whatever. So the cousin, I don't know. They're just asking, like, is there anything that you guys are just like, we have to talk about this? And they bring up the finances, and he's just like, I'm not trying to brag, but, and don't y'all hate when somebody starts off something like that? Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm not trying to insult you, but I'm not trying to, nah, brother, that's exactly what you're doing. He starts talking about the finances, and he's just like, yeah, he's talking about, yeah, single Rachel, she's YOLO, and she's traveling and all this. And I'm just like, okay, here you go, bringing up how this woman lived her life before you. Yes, y'all are married. Yes, she has to be more strategic about how she takes trips now. But do not sit there and try to convince these people that this woman needs to deposit all of her fucking money into a bank account that you have control over so that you can spend both of y'all's money and she can just take what's left. She is not a child. She is an adult. And everybody kind of got quiet, like, when he mentioned the joint bank account. I'm like, because married people, first of all, my own parents had to, like, they had issues with a joint when they were married, issues with a joint bank account. Like, yeah, it's okay to have one that you create that is for, again, common goals, common savings, common bills, but you are not going to take my money and tell me what you're gonna do with my money. Like, I'm not doing that. And then he brings out the fucking board, and it's just like, here we go with this board. Anyways, when they all split off, I'm glad that Jose's stepmom was just like, girl, don't give him all of your power. Like, you need to start speaking up, because that's ridiculous for him to really insist that she needs to give her money all to this one bank account because she's married. Like, there is no way. And if he's as money savvy as he says he is, he knows that his money doesn't go to just one bank account either. When you're a money guru or whatever, you're very good with your money isn't in just one account. So why do you want this woman's money to go into one account that you can have control over? No one's doing that with you, Jose. So glad his mom said, or his stepmom said that, because Johnny and Bao are getting ready for their housewarming. They're doing a little island theme. What gets me with Johnny is he says, he's in a relationship that doesn't have a spark, and he's trying to work out the other stuff without the spark. Johnny, you didn't get into a relationship in a traditional way. You didn't go about this in a traditional way. That spark that comes organically comes from you starting a relationship with you in it and you working towards that spark. Johnny is exhausting. He is exhausting, but he's just so giddy and excited about having this housewarming because it's a marriage, like a marital perk, right? That he's gonna be around other married people and talk about marital things. But it's like, sir, you're not even in this. Like, you're not even here. You're how can you call yourself a husband when you can't even be in the relationship with her? First of all, Johnny's cousin is fine, okay? Anyways, they're still talking about the same thing. But Johnny is trying to put a pretty bow on it when he's talking to her, to Bao's friend and his cousin. And Bao is saying the same thing, that she's all in, but she needs Johnny to be all in. Johnny is not all in because I don't know what he's afraid of, but he just won't give it to her. And I have no idea why. It's just crazy to me to be in such a highlighted relationship. Like, that's not the word I'm looking for, but marriage is really serious. Like, and the fact that he's just like refusing to be all in is crazy to me. But I just came back on here to say Johnny's cousin is fine. Hey, Johnny's cousin. Michaela and Zach. I don't even need to look at that scene. I already know. Michaela and Zach's housewarming. So her friends show up, and of course Zach and his friend shows up after the fact. Zach was trying to get some understanding from those friends. He did not get that understanding. Like, what they told him about her, because they basically said, well, we don't know Michaela to be this way, like, and if she feels like her back is up against the wall or anything like that, she just needs some reassurance. And I'm just like, I don't know, sis. She may be putting on a different face for y'all, but he was just not satisfied with what they had to tell her. Zach's friend Jerron was telling her that she needs to be more understanding, less confrontational. It's okay to be pissed. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset, but vocalize it without the confrontation. I think that was solid advice to a point, all about the circumstances, right? Because something can trigger you, yes, and you'll react. But yes, it's all about thinking before you react, but it's all about the situation. So I was just like, you can't just sit there and tell her that she can apply this all the time, you know, because that's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's unrealistic. But I understand stepping in as his friend and was like, listen, Zach is a very, you know, cool, calm, collective type of person. He's not used to this. He's had to step away from relationships like this. He's been in relationships where he's, you know, that the girl was basically batshit crazy or ghetto or whatever, and he doesn't like it. So I got it. And I think she took what Jerron said and she really applied it. So I think she did. Absolutely. So Mirla and Gil are having their housewarming and their friends are coming over. And the lady, I don't know who this lady is. She's just like, oh, you're like the female version of Gil. And I'm just like, where? Like, I don't see it, y'all. All right, but okay. Gil starts talking about her closet, and I'm like, here you go, Gilliana. Here you go. You acting like a hating ass. And it's like, why are you telling people this? Again, you are trying to like publicly shame this lady for her lifestyle. And it's like, why? What's the point? Like, what is the point in you doing this? I don't like this shit. I don't like how Gil is handling this lady when it comes to her life. And honestly, if I were Mirla, I'd be like, listen, you got one more motherfucking time to mention the amount of stuff I have, to mention my bank account, to mention my lifestyle. Like, I I don't understand how much, like, the amount of patience this lady has. Excellent. Maybe I need to start writing notes, because there is no way that I will be able to sit in another space where this man is basically trying to make me feel bad about what I have accomplished, whether it be important to him or not. You are not going to make me feel bad for what I have accomplished. Period. Gil talks to Mirla's friend, and Gil is basically asking, like, well, is Mirla like this? Like, does she not kiss, like, when she's dating? And he's just like, I don't know, big dog. Like, I'm not into her relationships like Thank you, friend. Because, listen, Gil seems to be way more vested into not getting a kiss and her finances than all the effort he was putting in the beginning. And I don't like that. Like, it's looking a little inconsistent for me. That is just from what we see, okay? Like, disclaimer, y'all, the only thing that I review is what I see. That's it. I'm not talking about what happens outside the cameras, what happens before the cameras, none of that. I'm talking about what we're all watching, okay? Because I keep getting comments like this and like, you don't know what happens outside of the camera. No, I don't. That's why I review what I see. Okay? And I'm not trying to be that guy. I just, it gets annoying when people are talking about what could possibly be happening outside. We don't know these folks. We're just reviewing the show. Okay? That's it. That's it. We're just reviewing the show. Okay? So enjoy this with me. This friend of Gil's, Willie, I'm sorry, I just don't like men like that. He's sitting there asking Mirla, first of all, he asked about their intimacy, but now he's asking Mirla, does he feel like, or does she feel like her spending is going to be an issue in the future? Sir, Mirla makes more than your friend. Mirla has more money than your friend. They have already established that. Why the fuck are you asking intimate details like this? You are not in a relationship with Mirla. Your only relationship that you have is with Gil. You should be lacing her up with as much information as she needs to know about Gil to help her. This is not put Mirla on the stand about her money habits as if she's doing something wrong. So anything else that they discuss at that point, it's laughable, because Willie, you're a fucking joke coming at this woman like that. Like, I don't like that. I don't like when men try to strong arm women or make women feel embarrassed or wrong for their life or their lifestyle. Like, I just don't like that shit. It's a joke. It's a joke. Getting to the better part of this show, like the juicier part, because child, these other scenes. Anyways, Michaela and Zach. So everybody left. They're cleaning up after the housewarming party, and Zach and Michaela are talking, and he asks her, like, you know, when you were talking to Jerron, did you like learn anything? Did you pick up on anything? I don't know if y'all are gonna like my opinion, but I'm gonna say it anyways. When Michaela says yes, she's like, yeah, I understand that I took advantage of you. And you took advantage of me. And his reaction to that, y'all, I don't think y'all gonna like my opinion. His reaction to that seemed like, oh, you're gonna be accountable for your actions. oh, I can't lure this shit over your head anymore. That is what he's giving me in this scene, okay? When she's like, yeah, like, she was like, I'm not used to being in a relationship where somebody is giving me as much as I'm giving them. I'm not used to that. So when I reacted the way that I did, I should not have reacted that way. I should not have taken advantage of your kindness. I shouldn't have reacted in such a way that was harmful to you. It was harmful. And, you know, and she's apologetic and she's really like being accountable. She's apologizing. She's acknowledging his feelings, because then he asks her, well, how do you think that makes me feel? First of all, sir, are we 7 years old or are we adults? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Because what you're not gonna do is try to question me like I'm a toddler. Like, you do that type of shit in kindergarten. Like, oh, when you took Johnny's cookie, how do you think that made him feel? Like, you do that to a toddler. You're not gonna do that to me. You can tell me how it made you feel, but you're not gonna sit here and question me like I'm your child. Because it seems like in this scene, I understand, like I said, he seems shell-shocked, PTSD, he doesn't want to go down this route again. I got that part. But what you're not gonna do is put me on the fucking cross like I can't fuck up. Either we're gonna do this or we're not going to do this. But what you're not going to do is hang me up on the cross and crucify me for some shit that I'm acknowledging. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the way his tone, how he's questioning Michaela, how he's even communicating. First of all, the way that he's communicating, really sporadic, and it's like, I feel like, yes, that comes from a factor of PTSD. He seems to be fearful and full of, you know, angst and you know, is anxious to tell her because he doesn't know how she's gonna react. I got that part. But there's another side to the coin here, y'all. Yes, you can feel all these things over here, the anxious, the scared, the nervousness, the I'm not sure, all of that. But you can't, on the other side of the coin, be like, well, you know, because I don't think that we're fundamentally, you know, we're not the same fundamentally. And you've not even given this a real try yet. You're not even in it yet. It's like the same thing with Johnny. Not the same, but the same. Because it's like, okay, you seen one thing that scared the shit out of you before you even really tried. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen, I don't condone what Michaela did at all. I don't think that shit is okay. I don't know what that has to do. Like, I don't know if it had anything to do with her dad. I don't know if it has anything to do with her past. I don't know. I don't know if it's a situation where she just thought it was fucking cute. I don't know. But if somebody is coming to me as apologetic and acknowledging all the wrong, I'm going to have a more understanding ear, because narcissists will turn it around on you and make it seem like you're the one who made all of this come out of them. She's not even being a narcissist about it. That's the part that gets me with Zach, because it's like, I could see if she was turning this around on you and she was making it seem as though you were the fucking problem, but she took all of that and said, listen, I fucked up. I should not have made you feel that way. I know you feel this way. I know you feel that way, and it's my fault. I want to work on this. And the fact that he's just like, I don't even think we should try. We don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to have this, and we don't have to know exactly what we're going to do right now. And yes, that's very true. But it's the tone that he is taking with her that I don't fucking like. And I think that he's one of the types that's going to, okay, you fucked up like this. I'm going to make sure that you know you fucked up every time we get into it. Every time I want something to go my way. That's just how it's coming off right now, y'all. That's just how it's coming off. Like, Because if you're gonna have a real adult conversation, even if you had these different factors of, yes, it hurt me, and no, I don't think we're gonna have the answers tonight. Even if you had those factors, there's a way to converse with the other person about that. Like, there's a way to communicate that without this condescending ass tone of, well, how do you think that made me feel? How do you like, and then, you know, I just feel like he's punishing her. I feel like he's punishing her instead of taking the adult route. So, seems like there's more than one red flag coming from one person. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not sorry about that one, because that's just the way it's coming off. And I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't think that they need to be together, honestly. I just don't like the way he handled her in that moment. Because like I said on my last episode, or my last review, I don't like for black women to be put in situations where they're called crazy, and I think he is just milking the shit out of that right now. I think he is. And I know it's fresh, but damn. Let me make sure I'm not missing nothing. Well, clearly Zach just don't give a damn. She's sitting there trying to force those tears out, and he is just like, I don't give a damn. When they're talking, I guess what sent him over the edge was her canceling the housewarming. And I did watch the after show. I remember the after show. She said that they had a 3-minute long conversation. It wasn't very long, and it didn't resolve the issues that they had. That is why she canceled initially. He said it was resolved. I don't know. There's always two, there's his story, her story, and the truth that lies in the middle. So who knows what was the context of that conversation? I'm sure we'll find out during the reunion. But Zach is just like, I don't give a damn. Like, his whole mannerism, like with her trying to cry and shit, he's just like, sorry for you. Like, that's what he's giving her. He's basically saying, like, listen, we don't have to have the answers today. Which, again, I agree with that. But when she said, like, Zach, we're married, that part stood out so profound to me, because y'all are married, and she can tell that where he is right now, it just seems to be checked out. He seems to be checked out. That's where she at with it. That's where he's at with it. And he couldn't give any more of a damn at this point. Like, he's just like, and he leaves the apartment. I didn't realize when I was talking last week that she had moved out. I didn't realize that. I was just like, girl, what? That was super fucking immature as fuck. Like, what was the point in that? Like, one miscommunication and you moving out. Okay, but anyways, so he takes the same stance. It's like they're doing tit for tat. That is not healthy. Like, either y'all come together as adults or somebody needs to leave. But that tit for tat shit, nobody wins in the end. Nobody wins in the end. But the fact that he just left, child, oof. Would have loved for it to work. I would have loved to love Michaela. I mean, I don't know what the rest of this season is gonna bring, but it just doesn't make Michaela look good at all. I'm gonna look for her on social media to see if I can find some stuff out. Anyways, y'all, hope y'all enjoyed this review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I still don't know who y'all's favorite couple is. I guess y'all don't have one. Honestly, I don't have one either. I was rooting for the black folks. But anyway, Yeah, y'all make sure y'all comment, like, subscribe if y'all like content like this. I'll be doing this every single week. Thank you for all who has subscribed so far. We are not always going to agree, but I hope that you still love more of the content to join the conversation down below, okay? Y'all have a great one, and peace.